Welcome to the eCommerce Profits Podcast, where we feature top founders and experts in the e-commerce industry and take an in-depth look at the struggles and successes in growing e-commerce brands profitably.
Hey guys, Josh Chin here. I'm the host of the eCommerce Profits Podcast, where we feature top experts and entrepreneurs in the e-commerce industry, and we go behind the scenes of the struggles and successes in growing a brand. Now, this episode is brought to you by Chronos.agency. If you run a direct-to-consumer e-commerce brand that is ready to scale and to double your customer lifetime value through retention marketing, Chronos is your company. We've helped over 400 brands scale profits with email, SMS, and mobile push while getting an average of 3,500% ROI from our efforts. It's crazy to say that. And we have worked with brands like Truly Beauty, Elias Skin, The Udi, and many more. And the next step is to email us at sales@chronos.agency, or you can go to chronos.agency to learn more. And as usual, links will be in the show notes down below. We can go to chronos.agency/podcast for the latest show notes. Today's guest is Kiril Kirilov. Man, I butchered your name again. Kiril is a good friend of mine. We've known each other for a while now. And he is currently the co-founder of a Shopify shipment tracking software called Rush. It's built for e-commerce brand owners by e-commerce brand owners. Incredibly, very few software companies can claim that. Its aim is primarily to improve customer experience and lower support costs by 90% and more, ultimately helping you generate more revenue with less costs and less headache as you scale. No more endless email chains asking about statuses of your customers' orders and things that relates to post-purchase inquiries. So Kiril has been in the e-commerce and internet space for a long time now. When will you say you first got started in the internet space, Kiril?
Yeah, such an old dude sitting here, right? No, I'm kidding.
You got a white hair and all that.
Intro.
Yeah.
By the way, great intro that you put together right now, and I'm excited to be part of the show and the podcast. We know each other since 2019, I believe. We've met in Barcelona.
Oh yeah.
And it's been quite a ride, at least on my end, doing e-com in different places and different situations. I started back in 2008 off of necessity of making some money in order to support my track and field career back then. I used to do like 11 years of semi-professional track and field. I was running the 100-meter and 200-meter dash. And surprisingly, I was a national champion. I was also a champion of the Balkans. It's an area that is consisting like 8 or 9 countries. It really depends on the current state of the world that we live in right now. But I also participated in the European Championships in Helsinki in 2012. And I was not really lucky enough to get close to the Olympic standards in 2012 for the London Olympic Games. But I was really pushing hard towards that goal. I didn't went there, but it was a great journey. And just because sports, even track and field, cannot support a good living, I had to hunt down and look for some places. In 2008, it was the good old forums that I grasped some ideas and taken some notes in account to oversee the potential of eBay back then. And it's like a journey that is going to open so many doors after that. Once you start consuming content around a specific category, you're going to oversee more case studies. You're going to start communicating with more people that are going to contribute to other activities down the road. And in short, I was doing Amazon FBA, private label between 2014 and 2017, to put it like that. And in the beginning of 2017, I joined a group by a friend of ours called Tanner Larson. And then I switched to direct-to-consumer type of e-com business, which primarily pushed me in the position to do dropshipping from China for the most part, like 90% of the time. And I was happy with what I was getting out of the opportunity, because I was making enough to uh, be living like a king in my country, because I'm living in Bulgaria, and the standard is pretty low compared to US, Singapore, for example, and other Western countries. But nonetheless, I'm enjoying my ride so far, and the days of the dropshipping business that I used to run pushed me in a position to build a company, a software company right now, which is co-founded with my partner called Stanislav. And that's the nature of the business, where two guys that are coming up from completely two different worlds are going to join forces, because he's our product manager, was a technical lead, and is the person who is putting up the code together in order to provide merchants with great performance and a great tool that they can use and apply every single day.
It's incredible. And Kiril, you're based in Bulgaria.
Yes.
How is it like over the years running a business and businesses that span across the globe, pretty much selling all around the world, especially in the US, being based in Bulgaria? How do you see the foresight from back in 2008 to know that e-commerce is going to be global, and not, how do you not decide to move out to the US having so much business out there?
That's a great question, by the way. At least on my end, speaking from my experience, in the early days of eBay, like, you have to always think about businesses in maybe two directions. Number one, what are your advantages? Knowledge, skills, resources, etc. And number two, access to capital. Like, if we have to speak right now in 2022, capital is important because the opportunity is so much more bigger than in 2008. So in order to be competitive, you have to shorten the time to build a product, put it to market, and start competing with the current competitors, regardless if it's e-com, SaaS, whatever the case might be. Back in 2008, I had enough capital, because you don't need a lot of money to start a business, quote unquote, on eBay. But we had access to Turkey, which is a neighbor of Bulgaria, which are one of the biggest manufacturers of clothing and apparel, to put it like that. So I can go with my car to Istanbul. I can buy it wholesale, like super inexpensive and cheap, and I can resell it at 3-4x markup on eBay. So it was like how often I can go to Istanbul to restock, put it on eBay, and you didn't need it. Back then, even right now, you don't need to acquire customers using advertising. You was gonna just put the listing on eBay and make money off of it. But going to your question, I was thinking about kind of situating myself in the US. I even had a partner between 2014 and 2019 that we shared a mutual S Corp in Utah, Salt Lake City. Because of that one advantage, which is like, if you're running a company which is US located, you're going to have these beautiful credit cards, which are going to provide you with room to accelerate and scale further. But the current state that I'm currently at right now, I'm so fortunate to, number one, keep on getting and knowing more people who are smarter than myself, have more experience than myself, and can contribute not only with money and capital, but also with the proper advice, which are our current angel investors in the software company, and also our VCs, who are having their success for, the past 10 plus years, and they just want to keep on building their legacy. It's not at some point about the money, but it's about what I can contribute back on the table, which is going to make some impact on the world itself. And I can't complain right now. We closed our seed round recently, maybe like 2 months ago, but it's not been officially put up as a PR.
Yeah,
It's probably going to be put together in the next 2 weeks, something like that. We have enough fuel in the engine, and hopefully we are going to continue on solving more Shopify issues and problems right now post purchase, and at some point it's the nature of expanding to WooCommerce, BigCommerce, and whatever is going to come next.
yeah. What do you see being the future of Rush? Now, we talked a little bit about this before. Rush being what it is today solves a very pertinent issue in the post-purchase journey, a very specific one. in shipment tracking. Very common issue, very painful for CS, CX teams.
Correct.
So that's a great problem to solve. And as the Shopify ecosystem grows and grows, the problem is only going to grow. So I think there's an acutely interesting opportunity there. But what's next? At some point, you're probably going to tap out on this very tiny specific niche. But how do you then grow beyond that, like you mentioned?
That's a great question, by the way. Honestly, I think that, how to put it, the speed of the market that they're currently evolving, it's really fascinating to myself. And I don't believe that any company right now, regardless if you're super matured like Klaviyo, can predict 2-3 years down the road on your roadmap. You can only predict 6 months moving forward, which is based upon the feedback that you can take from your current customers or the ones who are trying to go to, which is your TAM, which stands for Total Addressable Market.
Right.
So in a sense, with Shopify, most likely software companies are going to divide their activities and efforts, either go SMBs, which is the majority of the Shopify ecosystem, or you're going to focus like with your agency, work primarily with brands that's currently trending, they're matured, they have their own, team of 20 plus people whatsoever, which is supporting a legit business. But we're currently focused on the SMB market, and we want to completely take over the post-purchase experience. And speaking about what we are currently focused on, is like three main areas. Number one is giving anybody enough tools and resources to have more returning visitors back to the funnel, which are primarily your customers and your buyers, which worth quite a lot. And using that vehicle, we're going to focus on a tracking page that is optimized to build satisfaction and make money. The order confirmation page, which is one of the most visited pages after the buy button. Somebody's going to place an order, they're going to see the order confirmation page. If it's empty, you don't really take advantage of that asset. If you optimize on that specific asset, you likely can make more money, but also, once again, provide more input so that you can answer as many questions as humanly possible to your new customers and to the returning customers as well. Because at the end of the day, marketing is simple. It comes down to knowing three things: obstacles, the common beliefs, and the pain points of whoever you're trying to solve the problem for. Even in the case of being an agency, even with the case of being a software company, if you understand the needs of the people that you're trying to serve, you can definitely build a great product. And going back to going super bullish on the order confirmation page, once again, to use it as a tool to boost AOV and lifetime customer value. And number three, we're currently working on that technology to support one-click payments through upsells and downsells. Because it's a natural process. Yeah. Once again, order is going to be received. Somebody's going to see some upsells and downsells. You're going to make more money. Then you're going to justify it with the right information on the order confirmation page. Then you're going to notify them 2 days later with some more order updates on the tracking page. But in the core and the nature of Rush is going to be the data that we're going to get from the shipping carriers. So we're not trying to compete, for instance, with Zipify and other, for example, solutions which are doing one-click upsells and downsells, but providing you three main reasons to give us a shot. And we want to, number one, lessen as much as humanly possible the amount of support tickets flying into your inbox. And number two, build your bottom line gross revenue by 5 to 10%, which is a great way to tackle back on the ever-rising cost of acquisitions on Facebook, TikTok, you name it, whatever you're using to acquire customers.
That's fantastic. All right. Now, here's the nerd in me, and I cannot help this. What if there was a way to retarget consumers, like just recent buyers who have left the page with a one-click post-purchase upsell on email or SMS directly? Literally just one click, they add something to cart. Maybe they got to go onto the site to confirm. Do you think that's a possibility?
I don't only think, but at least I'm going to speak about email. It's possible. We're also overseeing that technology right now. but it's once again, a matter of how fast we can, push it on staging and then go live in production. And we can put it on a fair amount of stores to validate that the technology is providing and contributing to their bottom line more revenue. But on email, 100% it's possible because Shopify is providing you the tools and resources. On SMS, I don't know yet, but we're definitely going to look into that channel as well because you know it better than myself. Email and SMS are right now the name of the game post-purchase, even pre-purchase as well, like abandoned carts whatsoever. And also just a way to bring back more eyeballs on steroids ASAP.
The post purchase stuff, downsells, upsells, especially within the 24-hour window, and the opportunity for your warehouse and packaging to bundle items together to save on shipping, that is massive because it creates a second purchase event that acts as a repurchase effectively. And psychologically, in a consumer's mind, it is a doubling of trust, essentially. And that makes the third purchase even easier than what it used to be. There's some data sets floating around where on average brands get about 20% of the customers who buy again for a second time.
Yeah.
But of those customers that buy a second time, 60 to 70% of them buy again for the third and fourth time. So if we get someone to buy again quickly, I think the barrier to getting a third and fourth purchase dramatically reduces. That's my theory, and I'm really interested to test it out. So let me know when your beta program's out for that feature.
I'm gonna definitely let you know. And you're touching on a great component here. It comes down to frequency, and it comes down to somebody's gonna place an order in the first 24 to 48 hours. They're likely to spend more money because it's the adrenaline coming up that is gonna make them push and do that emotional activity.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we have the delayed component about what is my current, or to put it like that, what are my current numbers when it comes down to customer lifetime value and how frequently I can make more customers buy in a window of a month, 2 or 3, just to know that, let's say in 90 days, if a single customer is going to be spending $300 AOV, right? You know that you can go super hard on acquisition on the front end because at some point it's going to justify the expenses against what you can contribute back to your gross revenue. But in a sense that you can keep on pushing and acquiring more new customers. And this is exactly what's the major advantage between SMBs and people that understand e-com like brands, etc. How to read through the KPIs to make better predictions.
Dude, I love that. Let's talk a little bit about your background and your thought process around building Rush. So you've had a ton of experience across pretty much every facet of e-commerce. And when I say e-commerce to the folks that that's in my peer group in Singapore, where I'm based at, in Southeast Asia, when we talk about e-commerce, it's primarily marketplaces and driven by just a couple of companies. That's Lazada, Shopee, Amazon's coming up a little bit in the region.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the whole mindset. And then when you go to the US and the Western world, e-commerce is kind of split up into direct-to-consumer e-commerce. There's marketplaces like eBay, Amazon, and you have niche marketplaces like Wayfair and all that stuff.
Yes.
What has been your favorite part of that journey leading up to building Rush today?
Great question once again. Honestly, I love to believe that if anybody is going to continue on developing themselves in any sense possible, when it's going to be education, providing better communication channels for your business, also leveraging networks of people that can contribute and make you better, is probably going to give you a chance to live 100+ years, to put it like that. So it's like the longevity and also pursuing that dream, which is quote unquote a dream, that you can definitely be in the in a position to serve your needs and your family needs and whatever you're currently at the stage of, I don't know, if you're 20 years old, if you're 30 years old, whatever the life is going to put you into play, to buy back your time. You need to buy back your time at all cost. I can see that as a great downside about the businesses that we're currently supporting, that people are just hustling 20 plus hours per day without sitting down and thinking about, okay, I'm going through that journey, but what I can do right now in order to support my dreams come through. And that comes down to either optimizing your business through more human power and resources, or you're probably not sitting on the right business opportunity right now. So you just need to make fast moves, optimize, and move ahead faster. So again, to answer the question, I'd like to keep on developing myself as a human being, number one, as an entrepreneur, number two, and hopefully contributing to a bigger pool of people who are going to be like, okay, I mean, out of 1,000 things that, Kiril just said on that podcast, I'm going to take one, but it's going to make my life better. And if we can keep on making somebody else's lives better, I think that we can make the world a better place to live in.
1% of the time.
1% of the time, correct. Every single day is going to move the needle. Yeah.
Talking about moving the needle, how much do you think that your MBA has moved the needle for you in your career? Controversial. Some people are like, screw MBAs. Some are like, it changed the game for me. What's your take?
I don't know how to. I don't really justify the MBA towards the business improvement, just because, as I said, it's like what it used to be like in 2008. It's nothing compared to what we're seeing right now in 2022, and it all comes down to: am I at the right place at the right time to keep on being how to put it, like, to wake up in the morning and to enjoy that you're going to have 5 or 10 hours put together and you can contribute to something that is going to, make the business grow, make people satisfied, who are the people who are going to build a team and teams, and these people are going to build the business, etc. But again, being satisfied with what you're doing on a day-to-day basis so that you can keep on being happy. And again, this is going to contribute back to your relationship with your family, with your friends, with your girlfriend, with your, sons and daughters, whatever the case might be. But once again, I think that the speed of these opportunities that are growing right now is tremendous, and you can optimize only on a day-to-day basis. I'm not optimizing even 2 weeks from now, or I don't know, a month from now. It's so fast, and everything is moving so fast right now that I'm going to just wake up, think about, I have a podcast tomorrow with Josh. I'm going to prepare for that. And it's my main focus tomorrow. And the more tomorrows that you can optimize 1,000 times, likely you're going to get better in a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. But you don't optimize for 2025 from now because you can't predict the speed and the movement of the markets.
That makes sense. All right, so Kiril, you have been through quite a bit. Compared to most of the entrepreneurs and people in the e-commerce space, your experience is tremendous. What is your top regret over the course of your career?
I have one regret, by the way. I was overthinking some certain areas of my life, of my business, of anything for longer than I needed to. Like, there's some simple questions that have simple answers and simple solutions, but sometimes we're going to sit on that question for even 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, because we're pondering too much. And if you're in a state of having more than 2, 3 days thinking about a specific topic that requires a solution, just pick up your phone, call a friend of yours, and listen to somebody else's opinion, and you can oversee the solution and move ahead faster. And maybe a second point that I can bring on top is, you don't need to ever think that you are the smartest person in the room. I found that super fascinating, because the more that you can take as business results, the more that you can improve your self-esteem and your self-awareness. But it's actually not really making you a positive impact, because you're going to go out there and you're going to think about, I know it all. I don't need to know further than that. But you're going to always be in the wrong position with that mindset.
I can speak to that as well.
Share something with us in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of overthinking, especially alone, is destructive. It's so easy to go into a hole of the what if this, what if that, and I don't know this, I don't know that. And I think a lot of people, on the contrary to thinking that they know everything, is that thinking that they know nothing. Is that's also the other extreme. Exactly. And I tend to fall on that side of the extreme. And I often use the excuse that this is my first job, so I don't have anything to back myself against, and therefore I don't have any experience, and therefore I cannot think that I have any value to bring to the table. But that's not true. I think that's often a limiting belief that I catch myself saying to myself in the narratives in my head, and that's destructive. Because like you mentioned, sometimes all it takes is literally to pick up your phone a friend, or text someone you trust with that idea, and literally just bounce that idea off that person. And sometimes that gives you a fresh perspective, or maybe that gives you a connection to someone else who can help you solve that problem. And one thing that I've learned really recently, a little bit too late, is that most of the problems that we're facing and going through right now, unless we're building something absolutely revolutionary that has never been done before in the history of mankind, has probably been done before.
Exactly.
So the idea of, and I'm a big fan of this idea that innovation is not a means, it's not an end, it's just a means to an end, and often it's not necessary. Innovation is a need, not a want, and you only innovate when you're forced to.
Correct.
Because 99% of the things that we're trying to do and build have already been done before, and you probably have a playbook or someone that you can phone to fix the problem that you're facing right now.
Yeah, when I say a playbook, by the way, and I'm going to touch on that point, I think that I was actually a victim of that myself. Consuming short form content on social media is completely something that we don't need, because it's going to provide you 1,000 opinions at once. Your mind is going to blow up. Instead of, when you say playbook, instead of getting one book, which is written by somebody with great expertise, results, and has the legacy been put together, and just read through every single word out of it. And you're going to definitely take some golden nuggets, apply them ASAP. And maybe, I don't know who said it, but when you try to appeal to a big pool of people, or for example, appeal to everybody, you're likely going to appeal to nobody, because you're not really focused on what's going to move the needle tomorrow for your business, for your current state, but you're trying to, move the needle in 1,000 different directions, which is ridiculous.
I love that. I love the idea of going deep when it comes to books and content. The breadth of information often isn't necessarily needed anymore, especially as Kiril, especially the stage that you're at right now. You're trying to go from effectively, you're past the 0 to 1 stage. You're going from 1 to 10, from 10 to 100. That's where you want to be. And what I've come to realize is that takes insights, not knowledge. And insights come from going deep on someone else's kind of thought process and decision-making process, versus here are the 10 tips on how to scale social media or Facebook ads. So it's fascinating to think about. What's your go-to book or resources that you dive deep into?
Oh, I've been reading a couple of books lately. One is written by a guy called Alex Hormozy. He's an entrepreneur. I think the book was called, and $100 million offer is correct. Make an offer so good that prospects are gonna feel stupid saying no. Another one is by Zig Ziglar, and it's called Secrets of Closing the Sale. It's called, quote unquote, the Bible of becoming a better closer and the Bible of marketing in the United States. And another one that I've been listening to on my Kindle and also reading through it, it's The Wizard of Ads. It's called The Wizard of Ads. So 3 books that are completely in line with my current state, and I'm taking some good and great nuggets out of them every single day and just applying them into the business. And I've stopped watching YouTube and TikTok and 1,000 other sources of content if it's not really something that I'm gonna if it's not directly impacting my current state in my life, because as I said it, you're gonna get advice from somebody who is not even at your position where you're at the moment in your business, in your life. So it's not applicable. So it's just a waste of your time and your energy.
I love that. Kiril, what's one thing that you wish more people know about? Or if you had the opportunity to, at the click of a button, send a push notification to every mobile phone in the world, what would you have on the push notification?
It's going to be contrary to what Gary Vee is preaching. I'm going to be like, screw up patience. Like, you don't need to be patient about anything because you're overthinking so many different areas and topics, and you're likely going to pick up the wrong choice and the wrong solution. So I'm not saying that you need to hunt it down hard, but I'm saying that patience is actually a victim of your success, because the faster you can move with the right proper advice, the better you're going to get every single day. And if I have to speak about my years of track and field and sport in general, like, you're not just being patient that in 12 years you're going to go to the Olympics. You're putting up your sweat and tears every single day as fast as humanly possible to get there. So optimize on speed rather than being patient. And I see that, like, I'm patient right now and I'm patient, but I can see these people just struggling
right
in their patience, and it's ridiculous.
I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit there.
Go for it.
With patience, I think what Gary Vee has been trying to say is he has this saying: macro patience, micro speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So not hesitating in the micro, doing things, making those decisions, those hard choices, but being patient in the long run, because it takes time, but it doesn't take time for you to make a decision and execute right now.
1,000%, but you get it right. But 99% are gonna be like, okay, I'm still patient. I'm just gonna wait for success to come in. I'm being patient. I'm gonna wait for something to happen. Miracles don't happen overnight. They don't even happen. You need to go out there and make sure that whatever you're gonna do is gonna contribute to the better tomorrow. But it's the better tomorrow. It's not like the better 10 years from now.
I think people are using patience as an excuse for inaction, and
yes.
that's where it becomes a problem.
Correct.
That's
so the context of being patient has to be somewhat going and being hit in a different angle, and that's why the broader picture is not really providing the right advice to thousands of people who are consuming right now. And by the way, I love Gary Vee. I'm not going against him and just being offensive to Gary Vee, but I'm just saying that you can get lost in Gary Vee's content. Like, there's so many things flying around every single day. So 100%. I can't see the bigger picture that he's trying to contribute when it comes down to who you're calling out, what your message is going to look like, what advice are you giving that is applicable right now. I see this as like many quotes, many advices, but randomly put together. And even in his place, he's running, I don't know, hundreds of millions of revenue every single year across his businesses.
Massive.
If he can start providing some advice which is applicable to the current state that he is at right now, I think is definitely going to provide help to less people, but more impact.
Interesting perspective. Kiril, for people listening wanting to connect with you, what's the best way to get in touch?
I mean, come to Bulgaria and see me up. No, I'm kidding.
Hell yeah.
Everybody is invited to come and see our country. It's a peaceful country, small country. I think that we have a great nature. I'm trying to make an ad for Bulgaria right now. I love my country. I
snap.
love my friends here. And I love my family as well. But on the other hand, go and hit me up on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn as well lately. And if you always go to our website called rush.app, click the contact button, you can see the chat, send the notification out to our guys in the support desk, and they're going to forward it to myself. But I would love to be in connection with like-minded people every single day. And I also love to connect with people on conferences, events, like the one that we met together in Barcelona in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the affiliate world is coming up in Barcelona this year as well after having
July,
Dubai
I believe,
event. Yeah. So we can connect there as well.
100%. Head out to Barcelona for Affiliate World Europe.
Yeah.
Hopefully the world opens up even more over then.
I hope so too.
And also shout out to rush.app. If you guys are interested in testing Rush, they do have a 7-day free trial.
For the listeners of the show, we can throw away a 30-day free trial, and I can also give
free trial.
everybody a 30% off. Just give us a shot. It's not going to cost anything to your bottom line, because 30 days for free, even on the biggest plan that we're currently supporting. See the outcome on day number 25. Give me a heads up, and I'm going to make you a sweet deal.
Awesome. All right. You heard it here first. 30 days free trial plus 30% discount. All you got to do is use the link in the show notes. Kiril just send across the link, and I'll post it up. And if you go straight to Rush, you can request for a demo. Just mention that you've heard about Rush on the eCommerce Profits podcast, and they'll hook you up. Kiril, thank you so much for being on the show. I had a lot of fun. Can't wait to connect with you again.
Thank you too, buddy. It was a pleasure to be part of the show.
Thanks for listening to the eCommerce Profits podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get notified of future episodes.